Hello and welcome to another episode of the Forgotten Places channel. Now, a few months ago I made a video about MLB's attendance decline, and it did very well, and it sparked a lot of discussion, a lot of comments. And now that the season has officially ended, the regular season, we have the final numbers for the 2022 season that we are going to compare to 2019 just to show the decline here. And needless to say here, the numbers are not good for baseball. 2019, the last entire season that was not affected by COVID, we had 68,506,896 fans attend an MLB game. 2022, in full here, 64,556,678 fans. This is a difference of 3,950,218. A decline of just about roughly 5.8%. So in 3 years' time, we have seen nearly a 6% decline in attendance. Now, the large number obviously would be accounting likely declines in attendance in 2020 and 2021 just due to the trend that's been going over the years. But this is alarming and significant. And I want to throw up some of the individual numbers for some of the most popular franchises in the league. The LA Dodgers, minus 1,394 fans a game. The St. Louis Cardinals, minus 2,023 fans a game. Playoff teams, mind you. The New York Yankees, minus 1,620 a game. Now, some of the following ones did not have great seasons this year, and that would probably account for a little bit of the decline. But still, after 2 years of just having so much interference with going to games, you'd think there would have been more of a demand for people to make up for the lost time. Boston, minus 3,698 a game, one of the most popular teams in baseball. The Chicago Cubs, minus 5,903. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, minus 6,982 a game. And for those of you that don't think that the Indians' name change had a difference in Cleveland's attendance, let me throw these numbers at you. In 2019 and 2022, the team had nearly identical records, difference of one game. 2019 was 93 wins, 2022 was 92 wins. Average attendance went from 21,465 down to 15,998 in a season where the Guardians won the Central Division and went to the playoffs. They lost 5,467 fans a game. But aside from that, I want to get back to the big picture here of the MLB in general. At its peak in 2007, they had about 69.5 million fans attend a game. And now going to today with the 64.5 roughly, there has been a loss of 18.8% of fans in that 15-year time period. Just 15 years going on, you're heading towards 20% loss in attendance here. Now, the biggest reason that people said in the comments of that video I made a few months ago was that it's getting too expensive to go to games. And I have to agree. It appears that parking just keeps going through the roof. I mean, I think even more so now after the pandemic, these parking vendors are just trying to make up for the lost revenue, and they're just charging through the roof. Another thing that's kind of changed since 2007 are these ticketing fees. Now, ticketing fees have existed since before then, but they have never been as outrageous as they are right now. I mean, freaking Ticketmaster charges for $20 on a, whatever, $70, $50 ticket. I mean, it's getting so ridiculous how much the fees are. And then you don't even have the option to go down to the stadium and just walk up and buy a ticket and avoid the fees. At least many stadiums anyway. They'll say, oh, don't bother buying at the gate. You're not going to avoid the fees. So the nickel and diming just seems to have no end now. We also have continual cord cutting. MLB just seems to stick on their stance that they're not going to regular streaming services. Not that I'm saying streaming is like, you know everybody's streaming TV, but they're not budging on that. So you're left with kind of the older generation, the boomer generation, that's watching the games on cable, but are getting kind of too old to regularly go to games all the time. And they don't seem to really care about this because the games are not getting shorter. They're not really trying very hard to make them shorter. And you see this desperation with adding playoff teams now. And in theory, that should have increased league-wide attendance because more teams were in it for later in the season with more spots being available, but that did not happen. And I think the ratings have been flat this year. Didn't check the numbers, but I could tell you if they plan to just stick with mostly cable-based services, the cord cutting will catch up with them. And I mean, you're going to see eventually decline in that area, or a large decline in that area too. So what's my conclusion here for this attendance decline? It's a combination of pricing people out, aging fan bases, and no direct concern for the customer, just pursuing the TV money, and I mean there's just a stubbornness to just stay set in their ways, and it just keeps dropping, and we'll see where it goes in the coming years here. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you think, can MLB turn this around, or is this just going to keep going and accelerating? And as always, thank you for watching.